In this video, I'll show you several weaving techniques. We'll start with the easy one, horizontal stripes. You need yarn for this project. You'll go over to select your color, pull on the tail end, measure it as long as your arm, and then cut. Some kids like to put a pencil or a popsicle stick underneath the warp strings of their loom. That just helps them raise up a little bit and makes the weaving a little easier. You can do that if you wish. Your other choice is some kids like to weave with a weaving needle and some don't. Some just like to use their fingers to weave. If you use a needle to weave, you just thread the needle by putting the yarn through the eye, and you don't tie any knots. Don't tie a knot at the end, and don't tie it to the needle. So to start your basic weaving stitch, you're going to weave over, under in a pattern. It doesn't matter if you start with over or under, as long as you keep that pattern. When you get to the end, and you go back the other way, you go left, right, left, right. When you're heading back, make sure you pay attention to what your last stitch was, if it was an over or an under, and keep the pattern going. After each row across, use your fingers to push down the yarn. It should be pushed all the way to the bottom of the loom, and then as you go, row by row, keep pushing those down with your fingers. Whenever you stop weaving in the middle, if you're not sure if you were on an over or an under, just stop, look where you last were, give that yarn kind of a tug up to see if it was an over or an under, and then just continue with the pattern. When you run out of yarn and you need a new color, depending on what you're going for, what your style is for your weaving, you have two choices. You can either let the tail stay there and just start a new color wherever you like, or you can connect the two together by tying a knot at the ends and trimming it. Basically, you're just making two separate pieces of yarn, one long one, by connecting them with a knot. Okay, so this is the first weaving technique. It's the most simple. It's called horizontal stripes. If you're trying to make your weaving look like an ocean or a sky or something, and you want more than one color in the horizontal stripe, you can take two pieces of yarn and put them together and then just weave through to give you that multicolor look. When you're weaving both colors through, you can twist them together if you want to give it a little bit of a different look. But either way, when you put two colors together and then comb them down, you'll get that multicolor look. Next, I'll show you how to weave diagonal shapes. So you don't have to weave all the way across horizontally, all the way across your loom. You can stop wherever you like to create a shape like a triangle, or maybe you want to use a hill or something for your landscape, like a mountain. But basically, you just start across, over, under, like normal, but then you just stop where you want to stop, and then continue going horizontally to create the diagonal shape that you want. So the key to making the diagonal shapes look right is when you start in with the next color, make sure you weave all the way up to that first color and go around that same string, because you don't want any holes in your weaving.
Drew What do I do now?
So now you trace with Sharpie.
Does it look good?
Yes, Miguel.
Thank you.
So as I was weaving with the purple, I noticed that I had a couple of holes and misweaves in there where I did over under in the wrong way. You can tell when you see that white warp string too much in your weaving. If that happens, just pull it out and start again. You use that same technique when you want to create any shape at all. You just weave on the part of the strings where you want that color, and just make sure when you add a second or third or fourth color that you're joining them together without any extra holes in your weaving. So this type of weaving really lets you create any color and any shape you want. You could even do a circle like this one, maybe for a sun or a moon. Next, I'll show you how to create knots for fringe. You'll cut lots of small pieces of yarn, put it on the weft strings like so, and then just pull down, creating this piece that hangs down. A lot of people usually put it at the bottom of their weaving, but I'm just showing you the technique here. I used yellow for my second row so that I could show you how to alternate the strings. You can make them as thick or as thin as you like. It just depends on what you're looking for. This next one is called sumac. You get a long piece of yarn and you double it up, bending it in half. Using the half side, put it under the first two strings like so, and then pull the tails through the loop. And then you'll just continue with this pattern, creating the sumac. It's kind of a thicker, braided kind of look that you could use for whatever details you wanted to do in your tapestry weaving.